Hey there, everybody. Happy weekend to you. Welcome to February 6th. It's a Saturday, and there are only 92 games recorded in the college basketball algorithm, the men's college basketball algorithm. For Saturday, let's go through the games. Let's figure out what is it like when there are so many games. How do you do this? Well, I am still in Colorado, although I may be leaving today. And I'm going to be betting. So what's the first thing I want to do when I look at this big, huge sheet? I want to look at my underdogs. The reason why I want to look at the underdogs is these are games where the money line, except for this Alabama A&M game where there is no money line, all these other ones, the money line's positive, meaning we favor all these teams. The algorithm favors all these teams to win, and that's the opposite of what Vegas thinks. The odds makers think that this team is going to win. So what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of lower margins, except there are some higher margins up here, 18, 10%. Eastern Kentucky and Eastern Illinois, both at home, both underdogs, both favored by us, even without the 9% bump. It's still slightly favored for Eastern Illinois, like 1.7%, right? So these are some underdogs that it likes. Some of these are away down here, which makes it a little more difficult. But these three, Tennessee Martin, Eastern Illinois, and Eastern Kentucky, those are three underdogs that I like in a round robin because those lines are really good, and those teams are all at home. So that's pretty good. What about, as we scroll down, do we see anything with a high margin and also a reasonable money line? You know, when the money lines are red here, this means that this is a very bad odd, bad payout, essentially. You have to bet, $200 to win $1 or something with Eastern Washington or something. I think that's what it is. Right? So these are kind of unbettable games on the money line, and the spreads, I don't like big, huge spreads like this. It's too tough to predict. So you're looking for better money lines that are closer to, positive 100, right? Negative 110 or something like that. And don't see too much. Virginia Tech away at Miami, minus 186. Miami just knocked off Duke, right? I think they did. Here's Morehead State over Austin P, minus 144, and they are home. That's a pretty good line right there. This is an away game, but it's at Kentucky, an arena I've been to, which means Kentucky almost always loses. Tennessee should win that game. There's your Eastern Kentucky over Murray State game at plus 125. Is there anything that we should worry about in that game in terms of games played? No, both teams have played 17 games. Yeah, it's projecting a score of 149 to 114, which brings up a good point for people who are like, Ken, what's wrong with your projected scores? And the answer is I need to do work on them. That's what's going to go on right here. What's going on here is not working well. I got some other ideas, but honestly, today I just spent time compiling these 92 games and get this out for you, and I got other stuff to do, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. The reason why I'm not going to worry about it too much is because it seems really hard to do, and I don't know the value or the benefit of it because I'm using this margin anyway. And the margin is working pretty darn well in predicting the order of wins and losses of games. I'll show you yesterday in a second, but that's why I'm not on my horse to run around trying to figure this out because I don't know if it can be figured out formula-driven way, and also it's just like I got other stuff to do. So we need to have more subscriptions to this file if people want me to really put in the effort to do that. So margins, is there anything good? So much to choose from. Look at all these plus 100s, huh? Even money games. I don't even have those listed as underdogs, right? They don't pop up. So let's look at money line greater than 99. I'll show you what I mean. I think some of those other underdogs weren't popping up. No, they're all here. They're at plus 100. So these are interesting games as well. Stetson, who beat Lipscomb yesterday, I believe. They were an underdog we had yesterday. Cal State Northridge. This is an away game with Coastal Carolina, but they still have a margin of 6% after the 9% bump, so they're a decent team. All right, now, all that being said, let's talk about some results from yesterday. So yesterday goes 17 and 15, 16 and 16 on the spread. Now, it seems like kind of a lackluster day. However, if you look at what we talked about in the video, both our underdogs won. Both our underdogs won. I said to take Cleveland State and Stetson. That's nice. And then you have some winning up top. Weird chunk of losses, two home losses in there. Then a crazy string of 7 losses followed by 5 wins, and then it's choppy down here. And really, of these huge chunk of home teams yesterday, of 10 of them, you only go 6 and 4 on those bottom 10. I would have expected better down there. So it wasn't a great day. However, both our underdogs won, and that means that we beat Vegas, because if both of our underdogs won, then that means Vegas and us had the same team to win in the other games. So, I mean, still the algorithm outperforms the odds makers, and I didn't do too much betting on this yesterday. I ended up losing because of hockey. I lost a bunch of hockey yesterday. I'll talk about the hockey video. I'll talk about hockey in a separate video. So, I mean, I don't know. What can you expect? There are good days and bad days, but in general, like, this thing's pretty awesome. So, 17 and 5 day the day before, 13-10. Oh, yeah, looking at a previous Saturday. That's what I wanted to do. This, I think, was a Saturday, the 30th of January. We went 61 and 31, 32 and 52 on the spread. That seems awful. That's weird. I thought we would have done better on the spread, but I guess we didn't. But we have this enormous chunk of wins up at the top. Look at this, right? Look at this craziness. That was like 36 of the first 37 games apparently were winners. Then you're going to have chunks of losses in the middle, so don't expect everything's going to win, and choppy at the bottom. But so was there anything in today that you could grab as a big huge parlay up top here? If it thinks that, like, 20 of the top 21 games or something are going to win, and the lines are so bad here that I don't see anything. It doesn't start until about 20 rows in, where you get like this. So maybe you think about like these 6 at a time or something. Maybe you'll catch that. But anyway, I like the underdogs. There was 3 of them that it really clearly said to take, right? It's Eastern Kentucky and Eastern Illinois and Tennessee Martin, because they're all at home. And consider the other 4 as well as like straight bets, because they are positive money lines. So, and this California Baptist, grab this. You can throw a little on this plus 290, because it's weird. I have hit these so frequently going back. If we look at previous days, watch this. If you unfilter this, actually, we can just look at underdogs. Watch this. Let's look at just our underdogs from previous days and show you how they did and whether or not they won. We can highlight. Let's go past all the way to that like 30th day, right, the last week. And all of our underdogs, where their money lines are going to pop up over here. Some of these, if you sort them by money line, descending, then you'll see those big ones where they're like, plus 290, plus 300. Let's grab all those days again. And this is showing you that here's a plus 280 that we won, Incarnate Word over Lamar. Plus 210, we won Missouri, Kansas City, I think, over North Dakota State. I think these are the same teams, different days. So there's 2 of them that we hit in the last week. If you look overall, we don't hit all these huge ones, but we do hit plus 350, plus 380, like plus 333. There's a lot of choppy wins up here. So it's kind of funny when I see that right here, this, are we sorting? Yeah, when I see this, California Baptist, away at New Mexico State, like you think, all right, well, probably just take them plus the 7.5, right? And be like, yeah, that's probably not a bad idea either. But it's saying that they barely win the game away even after a 9% bump. So they're supposedly a better team by 10% anyway. The operating strength is okay. It's one of those things where you don't want to miss out on the plus 290 if it hits. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go, and I got to go work on hockey, which had a pretty bad day, I think. So hockey needs to get work on. This will be all right. We'll have a day today. Like, on these 92 games, you'll probably go like 60-32 or something. You'll have a chunk of wins. And the important thing is the underdogs here in all these games, and there was 3 other ones that were at plus 100 in the middle here, that you can see if you filter this by money line greater than 99. Here's an interesting, if you were to like distribute out money on these 10 teams, you got $1,000 and you were like, all right, if I do $100 on a money line of every one of these teams, from historically seeing how the file works and how the algorithm works, you're going to go at least 5-5 on these. And you're probably going to go 6-4 or 7-3. And maybe you have an amazing day of like 8-2. But you'll probably go like, let's call it 6-4, right? And the reason why is when you go 6-4, well, all of these lines, you add all this up, it's 1,310 instead of 1,000, because some of these are over plus 100 and better than even money. And so as you shop around for lines and you see all this, and plus what happens if you hit California Baptist, then all of a sudden you already hit a 3-1 shot, and hitting 5 other ones, you're going to be up like 50% on you're going to make $500 essentially. So it's interesting to look at it this way. Throwing these all together in a round robin or something is an interesting thought. It's almost better to do them plus the points if you're going to do it that way, because you snag them even if they lose by a little, and it really helps you in a round robin situation. Or you could just do them like 4 at a time, because you're definitely going to catch at least 4 of these. You're probably going to get at least 5, and I think you'll probably do 6 or 7. 7-3 would be awesome. That's a pretty good day. And when you do it that way and you go 7-3, you got a chance of hitting 4 of these, which is a really nice round robin, depending on which 4 it is. So, all right, I've talked on long enough, but I did want to get into betting strategy on huge days like this where there are tons of games. I got to do other stuff. Good luck, everybody. May all your picks be winning.